That one piece is right there in the middle. Right there. Woo! Okay, almost fell. I think he's enjoying the woods. Alright, so I am out here at a new river that I've never been to. It's in the Cascade Mountains, so we didn't go to Southern Oregon, we didn't go to Eastern Oregon, but this is still part of the gold belt that's on the Western Cascade slope. So I'm going to do some samples and see what's going on. But there was like a 20% temperature drop once I got up here. So it's all sunny and warm down in the Willamette Valley, but it's kind of sprinkling here in a little bit foggy, and yeah, so I didn't bring a jacket, but I'm sure I'll heat up once I start digging. We got some decent spring runoff still happening, and I found some cemented material. It kind of looks good. Bedrock kind of looks good. Here's a boulder, and it's got some hard pack, so we should sample this and see what kind of gold is here. This is the outside bin though, so I mean ideally I'm going to move up and try to find an inside bin, but you know, we're going to take a few samples and see what type of gold is here. So I guess we'll do a little sample here. This looks really cemented, river rock here. Not too cemented, but you can definitely tell this is some hard pack. And then that's I guess looks like decomposing bedrock, but the colors look good, and yeah, look at this right here. That looks way better than you know, typical loose flood gold. So we'll just take a sample pan and see what type of gold's here. So I classified all that material down, and I'm barely seeing any black sand, so kind of a red flag, but haven't done the swirl. I mean, there is black sand. And I see one piece of gold. Two. Main piece that's sticking out is right there in the middle next to that crack. Very small, but kind of crystally. He's right. That one piece is right there in the middle. Right there. Alright, let's try to find an inside bin next. So I did that test pan over there. I thought that was the outside bin because the river goes that way. So I figured if I come around here, this would be the inside bin, but it actually turns out that there's this little inner channel, and you can see this creek here. So this is the outside bin. This is the center. There's obviously a lot of cobbles across. The rocks look a lot bigger, so heaviers are probably dropping out there. Little side tributary that's coming up here, and then really big cemented cobbles and rocks up there. I don't know if there's gold coming out of that creek, but it's going to cause a pressure zone here and here, but I can't get across the water, so I was looking at places to kind of dig around here because there's a lot of vegetation. Good round rocks there. This is really good, creating a big low pressure zone because it's so flat. I was going to try to move this. This is pretty in the ground. Because ideally I wanted to get there. I could probably scoop a little bit of that. Is that quartz? I don't know what type of rock that is. Looks like some variant of an agate or quartz or something. So I may actually have to dig here because the ground looks actually darker here than in other places. Obviously this is like some busting up bedrock and other stuff, but the ground under that is dark, and then the rocks here are dark. And a really big professional prospector actually told me darker rocks are more important than looking for quartz or float. So lighter sands, kind of lighter, more colorful rocks. There are a bunch of colors in this river, but this is dark, so I'm gonna dig out a bucket and see what it's like. Don't know how the gold's gonna be, but there should be something just based on moving a lot of material. But the real question is the quantity and the size. So we got the sluice, and let's get to it. I absolutely hate digging and classifying. Rather metal detect or snipe. It'd be so cool if high bankers were allowed here, but in Oregon you can't, so you just gotta dig. And here's the manual labor part. This is the gold mining part and not the prospecting. So I'll see you guys when I get most of that filled, or at least past halfway. Okay, so I filled up pretty much half of this 3-gallon bucket, so we got 1.5 gallons. Let's run it through the sluice. This is my least favorite part. It takes so long. You grab the scoop, let it go through. Scoop in the bucket, let it go through. You just keep going and going until it's cleared out. All right, so definitely not as much black sand as the Malala or even Quartzville, but that doesn't mean anything. Some areas just have a bunch of black sand if they're more volcanic. All right, so that's the whole sluice box. That whole, well, half of that bucket just classified down to the heavy stuff. So let's see if this spot is better than the last spot, because I didn't really test pan this, but the material looked good. There just wasn't hard pack or there wasn't bedrock. See, the other spot had hard pack and bedrock, so that's for sure why there was gold there. Plus this could be a false inside bin, but we are seeing more black sand than the last spot, so that's a pretty good sign. All right, let's try this one-handed swirl. Heavier looking rocks, got black sand, way more black sand, so that's good. Should probably get like a polarizing filter or something for water glare. Way more black sand. Okay. Hold on, I'm just gonna classify this down a little bit more and then go back to the right hand. All right, we got it classified down a little bit more. So let's try the swirl again. Dang, that whole bucket, I'm only seeing one piece. Kind of wiry. Right there at the tip of my finger is the only piece of gold. You see? That's how small it is, but it's not a speck and it's not a flat flake, so could be a little source kind of around, but just breaking out of micro quartz. But yeah, I'm gonna go hunt around for more good looking spots. If I just wait like another month or two and the water drops, this would be a perfect bridge to get to the other side, but I'm not gonna slip and fall because these shoes don't actually have much grip on them anymore because they're getting kind of old. But perfect log bridge, whatever. Definitely want to check out that stuff, or even that giant boulder over there. So coming around that little curve where the log was, I guess it's the front end of a little tiny inside bin. You can see some exposed bedrock. I don't know what type of rock this is, so if you know, leave a comment below. It's kind of reddish purple with these specks. Rough and smooth at the same time, so I'm gonna sample and scrape away just at the bedrock layer and see what type of gold is sitting on the bedrock here. All right, so this red bedrock's not really holding much material on it, and it's very loose, so either it's been worked before or it's just flood blasted, so I don't have much hope, so I didn't fill up the pan, but let's just see what's in it. Ironically, that little material, not even classified, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. That little bit had the most pieces of gold. They weren't the biggest, but yeah, look, there's one right there in the center with a little buddy next to him. So I honestly was not expecting just this little flood gold pocket on this smooth bedrock to have that much. So I guess this is a bedrock dominant river versus pay layers. So I need to try to focus on getting closer to Bedrock, and maybe I'll find better gold. Found a tree. Woo. Okay, almost fell. All right, we crossed the other side. If you guys aren't from the Pacific Northwest, then you have no idea how big this tree is. This is like the size, thickness of a minivan. Yep, there we go. Comes up past my waist and then gets a little higher that way. Big monster. Got one little tiny speck of fly poop on the other side of the river. I did a little sample pan in kind of a dry gulch that didn't have any water in it, but it looked like there was some bedrock. Has a kind of a rusty color, but I'm gonna cross back over the bridge, the tree, and see what's in there. I also sampled the tree bark and that old material, and there was pretty much nothing, not even black sand, sadly. Ooh, the sun's coming back out. Nice and green, and the water's not too cold. Oh, sun's going away. So most of the rocks around here are kind of just this grayish color with some purples and whatever mixed in. But then there's this weird little patch here of some rusty orange, maybe ancient looking stuff. I don't know, I'm not a geologist, but it's just kind of in this little section. I thought right here that this was like bedrock that was higher, but it's crumbling, and then it's laying on top of some more river cobbles that you can kind of see. So it's a really weird overburden layer. I don't know if it's ash or something, because this is a volcanic area, but I'm just gonna dig and see what's in this kind of orange stuff, because where I've been to other places, those are usually good looking rocks. But yeah, like this ground looks a lot different for some reason than the rest of the area. So we have this, and then this is actually, it's gray mixed with it, and it just breaks up. So I have no idea what that is, but we're gonna dig some of it and see what's in it. If you know what that is, let me know. This weird gray crumbly clay stuff mixed with red. Haven't really seen that before. Kind of cemented pebbles. Very weird. So it's like hard and soft at the same time, but there's river cobbles in it. I have no idea if there's gonna be gold. We are kind of high away and far from the bedrock, but you just never know. You got to sample everything, because some of the best gold that I have found in my life has just been on the top surface and flood gold. So I don't know. This is some weird material. So I panned out that material, and there was no black sand, no gold. So if you know what that is, maybe leave a comment below if you understand the geology of that. I'm probably gonna do a few more test pans, then head back to Portland, because it's starting to get a little dark and chilly, and I got to get some dinner. So far it's a pretty place. I think he's enjoying the woods. All right, so that's it for the end of the video at this river. It's a new river that I haven't been to, so I'm not as familiar with the geology, the bedrock, how the gold deposits. It's not like the stuff that I'm used to, where I can just pick a spot, go to it, know exactly how it works, and pull out a ton of gold. So this was more of a prospecting, hence the word prospecting, type video, where I'm going around sampling different areas. But yeah, the bigger gold is still in southern Oregon and eastern Oregon. Obviously California and the motherlode, that's what started the whole gold rush. But there is gold in other random rivers that people don't really talk about in the Oregon Cascades. So hope you enjoyed the video. The next gold video should have some bigger gold, more gold, and a bunch of other features. So subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment and where you prospect and gold pan in your own home state. Anyways, thanks for watching.